Chosen one, the waiting is over. You made a move so powerful that you did not even understand its weight when you made it. And right now, in the unseen realm, a 10-year season is being unsealed because of something you chose months ago, maybe years ago, when no one was watching and no one was crapping. You felt small in that moment. You felt like you were giving something up. You wondered if you had broken something instead of building something. Hear me now. That move was not a loss. That move was the key. Heaven recorded it. Heaven measured it. Heaven has been preparing the entire architecture of this next decade based on what you released, what you walked away from, what you said no to, what you said yes to in that quiet hour. You are not behind. You were never behind. You were precisely on time. And the timeline you have been mourning is the very timeline that has been compounding in your favor. The seal is breaking. The blessing is rising. Stay here, because what arrives next was forged in your obedience. Before I take you any deeper into this message, I want to acknowledge something. You did not come here with energy to spare. You came tired. You came carrying questions. You have stopped asking out loud. You came half believing and half bracing, because the last time you let yourself fully hope, the silence afterward almost broke you. I see that. Stay anyway, because what I will speak over your life in the closing of this message is something I believe you came here specifically to receive, even if you do not yet know why. And before we go any further, here is exactly what you will walk away with if you stay through to the end. By the time we close, you will have a clear way to identify the exact move you made, the one heaven is responding to, even if you cannot remember it yet. You will understand why this season has felt so slow and why the slowness was never a punishment. You will recognize specific signs already showing up in your daily life, signs you have probably been dismissing as ordinary. You will be walked through the one internal obstacle that could delay this season from landing the way it is meant to land. And in the closing, there will be a declaration spoken over your name that is not generic. It is meant for the version of you who walked through fire to be here tonight. Stay. Nothing in this message is filler. There is a moment that has been happening to you lately, and I want to name it before we go further. It is the pause between dishes after dinner, the moment the water is still running and you are standing at the sink, and the day lands on you all at once. Or it is the early morning before sunrise, in the stillness between when sleep ends and when the day demands you. In those moments, a question comes back. The same question, always the same question. Did I do the right thing? You ask it quietly. You do not say it out loud. And then you push it down because you have a day to get through, and the question does not pay the bills. But the question keeps coming back. And I want you to hear me say something that nobody in your life is positioned to say to you right now. You have been doing the right thing for so long that you have started to wonder if you misread the right thing. You have been faithful so quietly that the silence has begun to feel like evidence against you. You waited for the door to open after you made the move. The door did not open, so you started to wonder if you had closed the wrong door. You started to wonder if your obedience was actually arrogance, if your stillness was actually cowardice, if the move you made, the one you thought was led by something deeper than logic, was just a rationalization for giving up. It was not. The doubt that crept in after the move was not faithlessness. The doubt was love. Love for the version of you who could not afford another disappointment. Love for the years you had already poured into the wait. The doubt has been protecting you, and tonight you are about to learn that you no longer need the protection, because what is on the other side of this season is not something you have to brace for. It is something you have to receive. There are signs already showing in your life that this season is shifting. Most of them you have been dismissing as random, or as anxiety, or as the ordinary fatigue of being human in a loud world. So, hear me name them. The first sign is a quiet detachment from the things you used to enjoy. The hobbies, the shows, the conversations, they have started to feel hollow in a way you cannot explain. You are not depressed. You are reorganizing. The frequency you used to live at is no longer the frequency that fits you, so the things tuned to the old frequency feel like static. The second sign is a changed tolerance for noise. Environments that did not bother you 6 months ago now feel exhausting in a way that surprises you. Conversations that used to feel normal now feel like wading through mud. This is not because you have become arrogant or antisocial. This is because your inner world is tuning to a quieter signal, and the louder world is becoming harder to stand because you were never built to stay there forever. The third sign is the repeating numbers. The same sequence keeps showing up at hours that feel marked. You see it on the clock, you see it on receipts, you see it on license plates. Most people will tell you it is coincidence. I will tell you it is alignment. The numbers are bookmarks, they are confirmations. They are the unseen tapping you on the shoulder to say, keep going. The fourth sign is the same word, the same phrase, the same idea, surfacing from completely unrelated sources. A stranger says it, a song repeats it, a book opens to it. You hear the same line in 3 different places in 3 days. This is not random. This is heaven repeating itself, because you have been distracted, and the message is important enough to send through 3 different doors until it finds you. The fifth sign is timing coincidences that feel orchestrated. The right person calling at the exact moment you were thinking of them. The right book in your hand on the right day. A conversation you needed to overhear, overheard. A door that closed gently right before you were about to walk through it. These are not signs of anxiety. These are not paranoia. These are not coincidence. This is your alignment, recalibrating to the season that is being authorized for you. So hear it plainly. What looked like waiting was forging. What looked like loss was authorization. What looked like quitting was entry. What looked like a betrayal of the old life was the ratification of the covenant for the new. What looked like silence was verification. You did not misread the move. The move was the move. The season is the proof. And I hear the Spirit saying, and these are the words being placed on my heart for you tonight. So receive them however your heart can carry them. I saw the move. I was the one who told you to make it. The waiting has been my workmanship, not my withholding. I do not delay what I authorize. I prepare what I send. And what I have been preparing for you has required time that the old version of you would have spilled. You are ready now, so receive. There is a reason this season has felt this slow. A reason that has nothing to do with timing being slow and everything to do with what was being built underneath that you could not see. Stay with me, because what comes next is the architecture itself. Once you see the architecture, you will never again wonder if you waited wrong. Hear what I just told you. There is a reason this season has felt this slow, and the reason is not what you think. It is not that you missed your timing. It is not that you got passed over. It is not that the divine forgot your name. The reason is that something was being built in you that could not be built in any other season. And what was being built was the only version of you who can carry what is about to land. There were 3 things being formed in you during the wait, and each one of them is the reason your move had the weight it had. The first is character. You were being made unbreakable by what would have broken you 10 years ago. Look at where you are now. Look at how much you can hold without crumbling. Look at how steady your inner voice has become, even when the external situation is anything but steady. That steadiness was not given to you. It was forged. Every disappointment you walked through, every moment you chose not to retaliate, every time you swallowed an explanation that was not yours to give. Those were the strikes of the hammer. You did not feel the shaping while it was happening. You felt the pain, you felt the slow, you felt the alone, but the steel was being tempered. The second is skill. There were lessons that could only be learned in the silence. Discernment, knowing the difference between fear and intuition, between ego and calling. Patience, not the kind that grits its teeth, but the kind that trusts the season, because it has watched the divine work in patterns before. Faith without proof, the rarest skill of all, because the world rewards faith only after the proof has arrived, and you learn to keep faith in the gap where there was no proof at all. None of these can be taught in a classroom. They could only be learned by walking through what you walked through. And you walked through it. The third is what had to die. There was a version of you who needed approval to feel real. There was a version of you who needed urgency to feel alive. There was a version of you who would have spilled this season if she had received it 3 years ago, because she would not have been able to receive it without leaking. The weight killed both of those versions. Not because they were bad. They were not bad. They were just not built to carry what is coming. The weight killed them gently, slowly, day by quiet day, until what was left was the version of you who can hold this season without spilling it. There is a man in the ancient story whose life follows the exact pattern you have been
Blessed are the
walking.
peacemakers.
His name was David. He was
Follow
anointed
me,
king
and I
as
will
a
give you
teenager.
rest.
The prophet poured oil on his head and called him chosen.
Blessed are the
And
poor
then
in
for
spirit,
17
for
years,
theirs is the
he
kingdom
did
of
not
heaven.
become king.
Blessed are the peace
17
in
years
heart,
of running from a
for
king
they
who
shall be
wanted him
called
dead.
sons of God.
17 years of hiding in caves, sleeping in fields, leading a band of 400 outcasts in the wilderness. 17 years of watching the throne sit on someone else's head while the oil dried on his own. But here is the part most people miss. There was one moment, one specific moment in those 17 years when David made a move that almost no one understood. He was hiding in a cave. The king who was hunting him walked into that very cave, alone, vulnerable, exposed. David's men whispered to him to take the crown by force. He had every reason to. He was anointed. The crown was his. The man hunting him was finished. David refused. He chose stillness over revenge. He chose the integrity of the calling over the convenience of the moment. He let the crown remain on the wrong head a little longer because he understood something that almost no one understands. The crown that is taken too early always becomes a chain. That refusal was the move. And the crowning that came years later was not the moment David became king. It was the recognition of who he had already become. In the cave, you are walking the same pattern. The move you made is the equivalent of David refusing to take what he could have taken. The recognition is on its way. Every day you did not react was a brick laid in the foundation of this season. Every conversation you did not engage was a wall raised around what is being built. Every explanation you did not give was a seal placed over your assignment. Every defense you did not mount was a roof secured against the storm that came for the wrong version of you. Every grudge you did not hold was a window open toward a season you could not yet see. You were not idle. You were architecture in motion. You did not know it. Heaven did. Some of you are already feeling something while I speak. The recognition is moving in your chest, not because the words are clever, but because your spirit has been pulling toward this moment, longer than this message has been playing. Truth honors truth. So let what is real be named before another moment passes. There are tools that exist for what I am describing, not metaphors, not philosophy. Actual sound-based frequency calibration developed by independent researchers, 2 of them working separately, arriving at convergent conclusions about why so many of you feel half asleep in your own life. The first is called the Genius Song. It restores something the world dimmed in you when you were around 7 years old, a frequency you used to live in naturally as a child, and that you have been trying to find your way back to ever since. The second is called the
I am
Wealth
the protector
Signal.
of the faithful, the
It
sword of divine
reopens a
justice.
channel that was
From the
always
heights
meant
of
to be
heaven I descend
open
to
in
bring
you,
light and
a
vanquish
channel that
darkness.
has been hijacked
Fear
by the
not, for
noise
I am
of
with you.
adult survival
I am
mode.
the defender
The
of the
channel
heavens,
through
the
which
sword
what
of
was
divine
promised to you
justice.
is allowed to
Fear not,
actually arrive.
for I bring light
If
to the
your
darkness,
spirit has already
and
pulled
protection
toward
to the
this,
faithful.
and some of you know exactly
the
what I am
Archangel Michael,
describing,
defender of the
the
faithful.
path is in the
From
description
the highest heaven I
and the
descend to
pinned
bring
comment
justice and
below.
light.
We will
Fear not,
return
for I
to
am
it
with
more
you.
fully later in this message. For now, just know it exists. What I want you to understand right now is this. The move you made was the verification that the formation was complete. Heaven does not authorize the season until it sees that the workmanship of the soul can hold what the season will deliver. That is why the wait was the wait. That is why the silence felt the way it felt. The silence was not absence. The silence was the soundproof room where the steel was being tempered without anyone hearing the strikes. And the move. The move was the moment the master craftsman tested the steel one final time and watched it hold. That is what you did. You held. And because you held, what comes next is not arriving as a reward. It is arriving as a release. What was always yours, finally being permitted to land in your hands. There is something specific being arranged for you. Not vague encouragement, specific structures. 3 areas of your life are being reorganized in ways that will look ordinary as they happen and extraordinary in retrospect. Once you can see how the reorganization works, you will recognize it landing in real time. You heard me say 3 areas of your life are being reorganized. Hear them named, and hear what each will feel like as it lands, because the recognition will protect you from misreading what is happening when it begins. The first area is your relationships. People who were sustained by the old version of you will exit, some of them slowly, some of them suddenly, and it will hurt, even when it is right. You will question whether you pushed them away. You will wonder if you became too much, or too quiet, or too inaccessible. You will replay conversations and try to find the moment you lost them. For those entering this season, hear what you do not have to do. You do not have to chase what is already over. You do not have to perform the old version of yourself to keep what was never built for the new season. You do not have to apologize for outgrowing rooms that were never going to grow with you. What you can trust is this. Just when you think you are alone, people who speak your actual language will appear in unexpected places. They will not arrive with fanfare. They will arrive as if they had been quietly walking toward you for years. Some of them have. The relationships built in the new season will not require translation. You will not have to explain yourself. You will not have to shrink yourself. You will recognize them, and they will recognize you. And the recognition will feel like coming home to a home you did not know existed. The second area is your purpose. The work you have been doing will either deepen into the assignment it was always meant to be, or it will be replaced by the work you have been quietly preparing for, without knowing you were preparing. Either way, what you are doing 6 months from now will not look exactly like what you are doing today. You will feel a restlessness before the shift, a pull towards something specific that you cannot yet name. Do not force the clarity. Do not announce the new direction before the foundations are set. The clarity is being given to you in pieces, because the whole picture would have overwhelmed the version of you who needed to be replaced first. Each piece is being placed exactly when you can hold it without dropping it. The third area is your provision. Resources will arrive through channels you did not labor for, alongside channels you did labor for. Some doors will close, and the closing will feel like loss, until you realize the closing was the redirect. You will feel a quiet surprise, small provisions arriving at exactly the right moment. Then another, then another, and eventually you will recognize the pattern, and the pattern will look orchestrated, because it is. Do not panic when one channel slows. Do not interpret a single delay as the whole season's verdict. The arrangements will look ordinary at first. You will recognize them as extraordinary later. That delayed recognition is the signature of authorized seasons. Heaven does not announce its work. Heaven simply arranges and lets you discover the arrangement in the looking back. Slow down with me here. We have been moving through a lot, and what I just named is meant to land, not to be processed at the speed of information. So, receive it again, simply. People will shift. Purpose will sharpen. Provision will arrive in patterns that will look ordinary until you see the pattern, and the move you made, the one no one saw, is the reason every one of these is now in motion. There is no rush in what I am saying. Heaven is not in a hurry. The slowness you have been resenting is the same slowness that is now making the landing soft enough that nothing breaks when the season arrives. There is something deeper happening underneath these three areas, and I want to anchor it for you in the way the ancients anchored it, because the words they used carry a weight the modern translations do not. There is a Hebrew word that captures exactly what was activated by your move. Most people translate it as wealth or army or power, but the deeper meaning, the meaning carried is the original consonants, is something different. The word is Ka'il. Ka'il is not given. Ka'il is released. Ka'il belongs to the person who has been refined enough that what they release can be trusted to land where it is meant to land. It is the difference between a child throwing a stone and an archer releasing an arrow. Both involve release. Only one carries the weight of trained intention. When you made the move, you released Ka'il. You did not know that is what you were doing. You thought you were just choosing the harder thing in a quiet moment. You thought you were just walking away. You thought you were just saying no when every voice around you said, say yes. But what you were actually doing was deploying a force from a place you had been forged. The force could not have landed if you had released it earlier. You were not yet refined enough to trust where it would land. The weight was not punishing you. The weight was making your release wageable. Heaven recognized the move as Ka'il because the weight had refined you to the point where the move was no longer reactive. It was deployable. And what is deployable can be answered. So hear this season for what it is. This season is not arbitrary. It is full of preparation. It is full of authorization. It is full of arrival. Every piece of what is unfolding has been waiting for the moment when your release could be answered without distortion. The answer is coming through the three areas I just named. It is also coming through ways you cannot yet anticipate. Heaven loves the specificity of the unanticipated. The arrival will surprise you in the details. That is part of how you will know it is real. And before this message ends, there is something specific I am going to declare over your life that I believe will stay with you long after this hour is over. So stay with me. The closing is not where I lose you. The closing is where the seal is placed. But there is one thing standing between you and this season, landing the way it is meant to land. And it is not external. It is not a person. It is not a circumstance. It is something inside you that has been protecting you for so long that you have forgotten it is there. It needs to be named, and it needs to be released before the receiving can begin. The obstacle is not out there. The obstacle is the doubt that has been sitting in your chest for so long that you have stopped recognizing it as a separate thing from yourself. You learned to doubt because hoping cost you something specific. You can probably name the moment hope cost you the most. You may have buried that moment, but it is still in you, shaping how you receive every next thing. The doubt is not random. The doubt has a memory. The doubt that crept in after the move was not faithlessness. The doubt was love. Love for the version of you who could not afford to be devastated again. Love for the years you had already poured into the weight. Love that said, just in case, let me brace, let me pre-grieve, let me hold this slightly at arm's length so I survive if it does not arrive. That love was not wrong. It was protection. And it kept you functional during a season that would have flattened you if you had let yourself fully hope. But hear me say what no one else may have said to you yet. Doubt that protects you from disappointment also protects you from receiving. The same brace that keeps the bad from breaking you also keeps the good from landing. The hands that are clenched against the next blow cannot open to receive the next gift. And what is arriving requires open hands, not braced hands. There is a belief sitting underneath the doubt. The belief sounds like this: I am too tired to recover from another disappointment. So I will pre-grieve every good thing before it arrives, just in case. Hear that belief named, hear it acknowledged, and hear what is being said to you tonight, gently, because the named belief is not your enemy. The belief was your medic. It kept you alive. And like every medic, there comes a moment when the wound has closed and the medic can step aside. That moment is now. You are allowed to outgrow doubt. You are allowed to stop pre-grieving the season before it lands. You are allowed to receive without apologizing for being someone who once needed protection. You are allowed to trust the season, even though the last season hurt you. You are allowed to release the brace, slowly, gently, one finger at a time, until your hands are open again. And you do not owe an explanation to anyone, including the version of yourself that needed the doubt, for becoming who you were always meant to be. There is also an impatience that has been sitting next to the doubt, and I will not leave it unaddressed. The impatience is not your enemy either. The impatience is not spiritual weakness. The impatience is what happens when the carrying has been heavy for a long time and a tired soul wants to put the weight down. Wanting to put the weight down does not make you faithless. It makes you human. The impatience was misread care, not failure. Release them both, not by force, by permission. The doubt is dismissed. The impatience is set down. The brace is no longer required. And I hear the Father saying, hear these words, however your heart can carry them. I did not bring you this far to leave you here. The doubt was permitted because the doubt protected you, but you no longer need protection from what I am about to release. Open your hands. The season is in transit.
His disciples marvel.
It is I.
Before I show you what activates the receiving, because I am about to show you, there is one more thing that has to be revealed, and this one is the bridge between everything I have just said and everything that is about to land. It has to do with two specific frequencies that have been dimmed in you since you were a child. Most people will live their entire lives without ever knowing what was dimmed in them. You will not be one of them. There are two layers to why this season has felt so slow. Both are real. Both have been measured by science. Both can be reversed. The first layer is something researchers call the decline effect. There is a brainwave called gamma. Gamma is the frequency of childlike curiosity, openness, untiring learning, the magic of believing that anything is possible. Children have it fully active. You had it fully active. And then, around the age of 7, the world began to dim it. School began to dim it. The way adults around you talked about reality dimmed it. The slow accumulation of disappointments dimmed it. By the time you reached adulthood, the gamma frequency that used to power your sense of wonder was barely flickering. That is why the magic of childhood feels distant. That is why the believing is so much harder than it used to be. The dimming is not your fault. The dimming was systemic. The second layer is something else, called the stress signal. There is a brainwave called beta, the frequency of survival mode. In a healthy life, beta does its job during a crisis and then steps back. In modern life, beta has become hyperactive. It runs in the background, even when there is no crisis. It hijacks the alpha frequency, which is the frequency where the subconscious is open enough to actually receive what is being offered. So even when good things arrive, even when the timing is right, even when the door opens, you cannot fully receive what is on the other side because the channel is closed. The receiving channel is being held shut by a stress signal that has been running in your nervous system for so long, you have forgotten it is there. This is why every other tool you have tried only worked partially. Meditation worked a little. Affirmations worked a little. Courses worked a little. Retreats worked a little. None of them worked all the way through, because each of them addressed only one of these two layers. And the full restoration is not parallel. The full restoration is sequence dependent. The child mind has to wake up first. Then the channel can open. Two waves, in order, not at the same time. In order. You, the chosen one I am speaking to tonight, were born with both frequencies fully active. You were born as a child of light, with the gamma frequency wide open and the alpha channel wide receiving. Modern life dimmed both. The restoration of both is not a luxury for you. It is not optional. It is a return to who you have always been, beneath the dimming. Before I name the tools that exist for this exact restoration, I want to name who you are in this, because the tools mean nothing if you do not know what they are restoring you to. You are not a person trying to manifest something you do not have. You are a child of light, remembering something you were born with. Long ago, a teacher said the kingdom belongs to those who become like little children. Few realized he was describing a frequency. He was describing the way a child's brain receives the world, with gamma open and alpha receiving. He was describing the state you used to live in before the dimming started. You will recognize the dual deficiency in your own life if you listen for it. There are moments when you feel calm and open, but you cannot actually receive. The peace is there, but the door is closed. There are moments when an opportunity arrives, and you reach for it, and you cannot sustain the reaching because the child mind in you is too tired to keep believing. There is a feeling you have probably had many times of being almost there, almost peaceful, almost abundant, almost arriving, and never quite landing. And there is a memory deep in you of a magical childhood state where everything was possible and everything was being received, a state you have not been able to find your way back to, no matter how hard you have tried. That state has a name now. It has a frequency, and it has a path back. Let me tell you about a man who walked this path. He was 51 years old. He had been unemployed for almost 2 years. He had stopped feeling sharp. He had stopped feeling like himself. He used to be the kind of man who solved problems, who saw 2 steps ahead, who walked into a room and made things happen. By the time he reached out, he described his own mind as a machine running at 30% capacity. He had tried everything. He had updated his resume more times than he could count. He had networked. He had prayed. Nothing landed. 11 days into using the tool I am about to name for you, he received the first offer, a better position than the one he had lost. The first thing he said when he described what had changed was this: "The change was not in my resume. The change was in my mind." That is the first wave of restoration. The mind comes back, the child wakes up. The tool he used is called the Genius Song. It is a digital audio, 7 minutes long. You listen with headphones, eyes closed, once a day. The mechanism is something called brain entrainment. The audio uses binaural delivery, slightly different sound frequencies in each ear, to gently coax the brain back into gamma, reactivates what was dimmed, reverses the decline effect, restores the child mind that was put to sleep around the age of 7 and has been trying to wake up ever since. The man who created it is named Dr. Robert Lake. He spent 34 years researching exactly this question: why some adults retain the genius mind of childhood and most do not. His work has been cited by researchers at MIT, Princeton, Harvard, and other leading research institutions. What the Genius Song does is not a promise of instant transformation. It is the first wave of restoration. The child mind awakens, curiosity returns, openness returns, the magic returns. You begin to feel like the version of yourself you remember being before the dimming. When you secure the Genius Song, Dr. Lake may show you one additional audio called The Youthful Brain. Many chosen ones who walk this path further encounter it after the original. It is how he protects the child mind once it has been restored, so the world cannot dim it again the second time. If your spirit confirms, take it. If not, the original is enough. Do not overthink it. What I just told you about gamma, the binaural delivery, the reactivation, that is grounded in 3 decades of research. Dr. Lake studied the brains of adults who had retained gamma into their later years. He mapped what they had in common. He documented exactly which frequency band reactivated under specific binaural conditions, and he calibrated the audio to match those conditions. The Genius Song is not a meditation. It is not an affirmation. It is a measurable intervention with a measurable mechanism, validated in lab settings at the institutions I just named. That is the science. That is the floor under what I am telling you. What you just heard, the first wave, the gamma reactivation, the child mind waking up, that is real, and it is enough for some of you. The first wave alone, for some chosen ones, is the entire restoration they need. But for most of you watching this tonight, there is something else. There is a second layer, and I am about to name it because if I leave it unsaid, half of what is meant to land in your life will land, and the other half will not. The child mind in you wakes up, curiosity returns, openness returns, the magic returns, and then she discovers something. She discovers that even though she is awake, she still cannot reach for what is hers. There is something else holding the door closed, a frequency she did not put there, a signal that has been running in the background of your adult life for so long, you have forgotten what life felt like before it. That signal is the stress signal, beta hyperactivity, the adult survival mode that hijacks the alpha frequency. It does not care that the child mind is awake. It does not care that you are ready. It just keeps running, keeping the receiving channel closed, keeping you in the loop of always striving and never quite arriving. Even with the child mind restored, the channel stays shut until something deactivates the stress signal. The man who mapped this in detail is named Dr. Stephen Newton. He is an independent researcher whose work runs parallel to Dr. Lake's, not connected to it, not derived from it, simply arriving at the same conclusion from a different angle. Dr. Newton's foundation is Stanford, with research lineage extending through Boston University, Harvard, and other research institutions. He is a neuroscientist who broke from establishment work to release this research directly to the public. The tool he developed is something I will name in a moment. It is the second wave. The first wave reverses the dimming. The second wave opens what was always meant to be open. This is how the child within you is permitted to receive again. Long ago, a teacher said the kingdom belongs to those who become like little children. Few realized he was describing a frequency sequence. The child first, the reception second. The genius song restores. The other tool opens. Both, in order, become like little children, then receive what was promised. This is what the full restoration looks like. The second tool is called the wealth signal. The second wave completes what the first began. It is also a digital audio, 5 minutes long. Listen with headphones, eyes closed, once a day. Included with the audio is what is called the 9-word wealth script, a short phrase based on an ancient Hindu technique that is roughly 3,300 years old. The mechanism is brain frequency calibration. The audio is calibrated to deactivate beta, the stress signal, and gently restore alpha, the receiving channel. The 9-word wealth script works alongside it to bypass what neuroscientists call neural rigidity, the place in the thalamus where stress patterns get locked in and refuse to release. The script slips past the rigidity. The audio resets the frequency. Together, they reopen the channel. Dr. Newton's work, separately from Dr. Lake's, has been validated by research at Stanford, Boston University, Harvard, and other leading research institutions. His mapping of beta deactivation under specific audio conditions was the documentation that made this tool possible. What the wealth signal does after the genius song has restored the child mind, is open the channel through which what was promised to that child is allowed to flow in. It is the difference between a child waking up in her father's house and a child waking up and being permitted to receive the gift her father has been holding for her. The waking is necessary. The receiving is the completion. Become like little children, then receive what was promised. That is the full restoration. When you secure the wealth signal, Dr. Newton may show you one additional amplification called the wealth signal accelerator. Many chosen ones already on this path have encountered it. It amplifies the receiving channel many times faster than the original alone. If your spirit confirms, take it. If not, the original is complete on its own. And for the chosen ones who tend to walk furthest, there is one more thing to name: gently. The path that some of you will end up walking includes both the wealth signal accelerator alongside the youthful brain, encountered after both originals have been secured. The combination is what the deepest walkers have tended to gather. It is not for everyone. The originals alone are complete. The combination is for those whose path requires going deeper. Do not overthink it. Your spirit will know if it is yours. What Dr. Newton's research showed, in the simplest terms, is that the beta hyperactivity blocking your reception is not something willpower can deactivate. You cannot meditate it away with enough force. You cannot positive think it into submission. The beta loop runs underneath conscious awareness, and it requires an audio intervention at the same frequency level to interrupt it. That is what the wealth signal does. It speaks to beta in beta's own language and tells it to stand down. Once beta stands down, alpha rises naturally, and the receiving channel opens. There is a man whose story carries this exactly. He was 48 years old, a sales manager in Phoenix. He had worked 60 hours a week for 5 straight years after a promotion. His income had risen, but he described coming home each night with the feeling of a phone battery at 5%. His wife told him, gently, and then less gently, that he was no longer fully present in the evenings. He was there but not there. 11 days into using the wealth signal, he noticed he had begun negotiating boundaries with his boss that he had been wanting to negotiate for 2 years. His sales numbers did not drop. The boundaries were accepted. He had his first weekend in 4 years where he did not respond to a single work email. The change was not about money. The change was about presence. The stress signal had been hijacking his life, even though his finances were fine. The wealth signal restored what the income could not buy back. There are a few questions some of you are carrying right now, and I want to address them before we go further, because I would rather speak to them directly than leave you carrying them quietly. The first is a question I would ask too. You have tried things: meditation, yoga, affirmation courses, healing sounds. You have done the work, and nothing has fully held. So, why would this be different? Hear the difference clearly. Everything you have tried so far asked your brain to change itself from the inside out. That kind of change is slow, and it relies on willpower that is already exhausted. The genius song and the wealth signal work from the outside in. They are calibrated brain frequency interventions. They are measurable. They are not asking you to generate the shift. They are providing the shift. And your brain is responding to a frequency it cannot ignore. That is the first difference. The second difference is sequence. Every other tool addressed one frequency. These two address two frequencies in the order they have to be addressed. That is, the gap nothing else has filled. The second is the question of whether this sounds too good to be true. Hear the answer in data. The gamma reactivation has been measured by EEG in lab settings at MIT, Princeton, and other institutions Dr. Lake worked with. The beta deactivation has been measured in lab settings at Stanford and Boston University. Together, nearly 38,000 chosen ones have walked through one or both phases of this restoration. This is not a promise, it is a measurement. The third is the question of cost, and I will not pretend it does not matter. Some of you are stretched. I will not disrespect that. What I can tell you is that there is a path that fits whatever season you are in financially, and none of those paths are large amounts. We will get to that in a moment. Whatever you choose, the 90-day money-back guarantee covers all of it. The risk is zero. The only real risk, which is also true, is choosing not to try and wondering for years what the difference would have been. The last is the question I get most often. Why two products? Why not just one? Hear me carefully here. The two tools are not redundant. They target two completely different frequencies. The Genius Song targets gamma. The Wealth Signal targets beta and alpha. Different frequencies require different audio calibration. No single audio can address both because the calibration for one suppresses the other, and the sequence is not arbitrary. The wealth signal alone, used by an adult whose child mind is still dim, will not work fully because the receiving channel cannot stay open in a mind that is too foggy to remember what receiving feels like. The Genius Song alone will wake the child but leave the channel closed. The child wakes up and reaches, and cannot quite reach. Long ago, a teacher said, "You must become like little children to receive the kingdom." Few realized he was describing a frequency sequence. Child first, reception second. That is why both. That is why, in this order. If your budget allows only one, begin with the first. The waking matters. When you are ready, the second will be available. And if the spirit is pulling you toward the complete restoration, that is also a sign worth honoring. There are three paths revealed for you tonight, and you do not have to choose right now. Hear them all named first. The first path is restoration. This is the Genius Song alone. It is for chosen ones who feel that the child within them has been completely asleep and who need that waking before anything else. The honored entry, first wave only. Some of you will know immediately that this is your path. The second path is reception. This is the wealth signal alone. It is for chosen ones who already have an active spiritual practice, whose child mind is already alive, and who simply need the channel opened. This is the rarer path. Most of you will not be in this category, and that is not a failure. It is simply the truth of how the dimming has unfolded for most of us. The third path is complete restoration. This is both the genius song first, the wealth signal second, the full two-wave restoration in the order it was meant to unfold. This is the path most chosen ones recognize when they pause and listen. The child mind awakens, and the channel opens, and what was always promised is finally permitted to land. Become like little children, then receive what was promised. The two together are not the same as the two added up. They compound. The genius song without the wealth signal leaves the child waking but unable to reach. The wealth signal without the genius song leaves the channel open, but the receiver too foggy to know what is being given. Together, they are the complete restoration. Most chosen ones, when they slow down and listen to what their spirit is pulling toward, recognize the third path is theirs. That is not pressure from me. That is the pattern we observe over and over. Hear this gently. Every day the decline effect continues dimming, and every day the stress signal continues hijacking. Both of them compound, not in a panicked way, in a quiet way. Another day of the channel staying closed. Another day of the child within staying dim. The cost of waiting is not an emergency. The cost of waiting is simply more days of half-life. And the version of you 10 years from now, the version walking in the full two-wave restoration, is looking back at this exact moment. She is hoping you will recognize it for what it is. Not a sales pitch, a doorway. The first wave begins with the door you choose. There is something I have to name plainly, because trust requires it. There are counterfeit websites and copies floating around that use these names. Sound files that have nothing to do with the actual brain entrainment technology, no binaural calibration, no frequency calibration, no 9-word wealth script, just generic audio dressed up to look the same. The only way to receive the genuine genius song and the genuine wealth signal, with the full technology built into them, with all 8 bonuses combined, and with the 90-day money-back guarantee covering both, is through the link in the description and the pinned comment below this video. Do not search for these on Amazon. Do not search for them on YouTube. Do not search for them on Spotify. They are not there. The only path to the real ones is the one placed below. Pause for a moment. Take one slow breath. Let your hand rest where it naturally wants to rest, on your chest, on your knee, on the place that feels still. What you are facing is not a pricing decision, it is a recognition. Your spirit already knows which of the 3 paths is yours. The first path is honored, the second path is honored, the third path is honored. None of them is wrong. The only wrong choice is choosing none of them, while pretending the choice was not yours to make. Trust what your spirit just whispered when I named the 3 paths. The 3 doors are below, in the description, in the pinned comment. Step into the one that calls you. What you need is placed beneath this video. 3 paths waiting. Your spirit knows the door. The other 2 paths will still be there if you change your mind later, because the channel is patient. And now, hear who you have always been beneath all of this. You are the hope restorer. You walk into rooms where people had quietly given up on something, and your presence reminds them what they had stopped believing was possible. You did not learn this. You were born this. The weight did not give it to you. The weight revealed it. You are the cycle breaker. The patterns that shaped the generations before you do not pass through you to the generations after. They stop at you. The thing you walked through quietly, that you carried alone, that you healed without applause, that ended with you. That is not small. That is generational. And the generations after you will inherit ground, because of what you stopped at your feet. You are the pioneer. You go first, into territory the people behind you cannot yet see. They will follow when the path is visible, but the path is not visible until someone walks it first. You are the someone. You have been the someone for longer than you realized. You are the sacred worshipper, not in the loud way, in the way that brings presence into ordinary rooms. People do not always know what shifted while you were there. They know the room felt different after you left. That is the visitation moving through you. You did not earn that capacity. You were that capacity, dimmed for a season, and now waking. These are not things you become. These are descriptions of who you already are. The weight revealed them. The move ratified them. Tonight names them out loud. In your mind, not out loud, I want you to do something. Imagine yourself standing at the threshold of a long hallway. The hallway is lit. At the far end of it, there is a version of you, 10 years from now, standing in the harvest of the move you are honoring tonight. She is not surprised that you are there. She has been waiting for you. She has been preparing the harvest the entire decade. Walk toward her, slowly, in your mind. When you reach her, she does something you did not expect. She turns, and she looks past you, back down the hallway, at the version of you who made the move when no one understood. The you of years ago, tired, doubting, half believing, half bracing. She walks past you, gently, and she goes to that version of yourself, and she kneels down, and she says, "Thank you. Thank you for making the move I could not have made later. Thank you for staying still when staying still cost you everything. Thank you for choosing this, even when you did not know what you were choosing." Stay in that scene for a breath. Let the recognition settle. This is not visualization. This is acknowledgement of an arrangement that already exists. The future version of you exists because of the move the past version of you made. The present version of you, watching this right now, is the bridge between them. And so, we close. Stay in this stillness with me for a moment. We have walked a long way tonight. You came here tired, and you stayed. You came here doubting, and you let yourself receive. That is not nothing. That is everything. The willingness to keep listening when listening felt like a risk. That willingness is what every authorized season has always been built on. Now release. Release the brace that has been protecting you from disappointment. Release the timeline you constructed in your head that told you it was supposed to look different by now. Release the version of you who needed the doubt to survive. Release her gently. Thank her on the way out the door. She kept you alive. She is not who you are anymore.
Blessed are the poor in
And hear
spirit, for
what
theirs
is
the
being
kingdom of
declared
heaven.
over you.
I am the light who follows me. Will
You
no
are
one
not
follow
late.
light of life.
You are not
Your faith has
behind.
healed you.
You are
Go in
exactly
peace.
here, exactly on time, exactly the one this season was forged for. All across the world right now, chosen ones who made similar moves are walking into similar seasons. You are not alone in this. There is a quiet community of you, scattered across cities and small towns and ordinary rooms, all hearing the same thing tonight, all recognizing the same pattern, all stepping into a decade that began with a single brave choice. No one applauded. If this message has landed in you, share it with someone who has been quietly carrying a move they made, someone who has been wondering if they made the right choice, someone whose name came to your mind even now. Send this to them. They were on heaven's list tonight too. It is sealed. The waiting is over. The architecture is in place. The season is in transit. And one last thing before you go. If your spirit is still pulling toward what was named tonight, the 3 doors are exactly where I told you, in the description and in the pinned comment. Step into the one that recognizes you. There is no rush. There is also no reason to wait. The door that calls you will keep calling until you answer. Leave one word in the comments below, one word that captures what landed for you tonight. Just one. Your word will help the next chosen one who is scrolling through, looking for confirmation, find this exact message at the moment they need it. If this hour mattered to you, the small gesture of a like helps this message reach the people heaven is sending it to. And if you want to walk this path with me, if you want more messages like this in the seasons ahead, you know what to do. The path continues. We continue.
Hoje Darjin Fibris, Moije, and Vanits, Alin, and the Amasminas and Honors Jimenajmans Fim Sons, Gandin, Ans by Jin Guns Jesu and Women's so sing Bajin, Ansham, Olwunas Fimdim, Dans
Lord, if you are willing, you can make me clean.
I know it's
I am
Dices,
willing,
Fain
be
with the
clean.
Dojas
Thank you,
and
Lord.
Sellers,
Love one another, as I have loved you, so you must love one another.
Browntunes, Benins, News, and Benilian, Finini, Joni, Dumbers, the Zan, Rig Diane, some engineers in study stage, in infants, Zajis, tried to Bowie deemed Club Benadin. That region is an banjo down of trans, arronding beard and thousands tone of its assists. Bone in barnen at Adas Bauch's disannouncement bow justice. Soft as sun and zazad bowing of an ammo no says it's dams fab and sefegs after buried in a moment and ventilate stride from the banners which diary as the thousandth jailen, Jams Alexander and Buckingham and stood with foot, the stone student English station and the gin and weakest to the decade in basis sound most in is the stand of Jummer and Alice Alexito. As to bound with dance and stenage, and if starge and dance of diary sasmet, owns to sadish and down to some chillis, this is space did I reach with the sands in the surface and digit study did reason. Dipes, sas bin your ching one didn't bread kindred, if you answered, and this dice of the system means out just a dash in the s, sadly the souls is stones and tones and stained and doomed, both as the done is at the thigh here been within stinins savey. Until it as and the days and re upped in stang and in the installed is upsets when the banisters is obtained. Of a solly lead and re-binding and bones leadership using the side of size of Finmode in dungeons and zones to Dinians, I've been faith. I gave down as children shunned this day. I saw down is a sad blood the others died as angel dungeon banded a stunny dun being in the parish edison as a spun idiot need to study G donated jugut. Even jeans and the Judaisian Maredini teach with viges and beard did fight vast bandagerit EOG and Chinchis dodged it faust schon bewoden and I richted down the streamnens and disrun jesserun with J could ban the fruit bang if I once subsided wir thin dream and suggestion was and the death of the Dukan was bun and the Jim with fame China is sas teachers in the on by Sir Dawn but says the slivered to Dridism I've Deutschum Bonth on the Thais si Barry Bandike she bound from or Petroneus a Sandrino Bunenji Dadbury sign and Assions Dunson Sandri were as much side void the lum so she's Thaisun and Dons Dishadod and Transit put it just in it. And this Tim Frapatauti generalization spies at Dachka, all the Senishrunabula chose only for its and phone when used as the Prudenziol and Jeep Different, Domadris and Skitchafastron, Bidens, Son from the Twist and Shadows anyway Shadjaston. Out bombs is a banner and the Dan Shasandras after Vogue Donid blinking to the Siri did some with the chanted and some truth down miss and change on a joke none of the Dans Sudendai, Danja with Jadon Sage and Davresmond Jersin, that is some Jim Band Dishonsai Stormless Sudan if and deal Dumjabro Durim, Ditons, Thingy John Stolen Summit, Das it's Bumsundly Foolelson, Thy Gifasimd. But Besek to show Sisham what the Jamuls were trenched in Najumodor Damo.